And welcome back to the Wealth Guardians Show. This is Paul Taylor, and I'm sitting here with Doug Ray and Brian Geiser. Folks, if you'd like to give us a call today and give us some input or talk about anything about the market, you can reach us at 1-800-642-0060. Also, we will sit down. We know a lot of you need some help or a little concerned or been with brokers for years in a buy-hold situation. Calls for a second opinion. We will sit down with you, and that number is 1-800-515-2919. And speaking of buy and hold, guys, we were just talking during our break how so many people continue to speak about a buy and hold situation. And, you know, we were even talking prior to the show how brokers continue to be in denial, not only brokers but many clients who still believe that, hey, I'm just going to stay in there. And if we go all the way back to 2000, you made no money, folks, and you need to wake up.
Well, I mean, you have all the time. The popular media promotes buy and hold. Brokers at a high volume, especially the big boys, promote it at a high level. When you have that, the Clark Howards, the Dave Ramseys promote buy and hold, stay in there no matter what. I mean, Clark Howard actually even puts out a recommendation that's no different for a 20-year-old to an 80-year-old. It's just mind-boggling. And buy and hold in this environment, especially if you're taking income from a risk account. What has happened to you over the last few weeks? I mean, you've really just damaged your portfolio something heavily. And I ran into a guy that I went to college with back in the day, graduated from ECU in '89. And he went on straight into the brokerage world, one of the big banks around here, and ran into him. And he's just an acquaintance. We're not best friends, but he's a good guy. I like the guy. But, he's a broker, large bank, as I said, been doing this for 20 years. We're both having dinner at a popular restaurant in Greensboro, both on our own because we got home late from work. And I said, hey, Terry, how are you doing? Just using that as a nickname. And how you doing today? He said, I'm doing well. Heard your radio commercial. He says, don't agree with much of it. I said, oh, really? So I moved down. I'm chit-chatting with Terry, and I said, well, tell me, what about it don't you agree with? Help me understand so that maybe I can correct anything wrong. And he says, really the big thing is, and the discussion moved over, I'm just not big on these fixed indexed annuities for income. I said, oh, really? I said, why are you not big on them? I said, what could be possibly wrong from getting a consistent income that's guaranteed by the insurance company? He says, well, how do you know the insurance company's going to be around? I said, well, what's the largest financial institutions on the face of the earth? They're insurance companies, and if they do go down, most likely, I don't care where your money is, you're probably going to go broke. Your money's probably not worth much. We'll have another Germany, you know what I mean, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, further into the discussion, he proceeded to explain how fixed indexed annuities, how he's not a fan. And, of course, he noted that my commercial was incorrect. I said, well, what about the pop? You don't think there's going to be a pop? I mean, you don't think there's a level of pop going on right now? Because this is a couple of weeks ago. I said, we believe in more of a tactical strategy. Do you believe in a tactical strategy? He said, sure, I believe in a tactical strategy. I said, well, that's great. I said, that means your folks must be out of the market right now. Well, no. I said, what kind of tactical strategy do you have? At what point, I mean, what barrier does the market have to break for you to put your folks on the sidelines so they don't lose money? He said, my tactical, he says, you ever heard of Warren Buffett? I go, Warren Buffett? No, who is that? Somebody asked me who Bill Gates was, and I don't know who that guy is either. I said, what do you use? Let's just move this conversation. I said, what do you use for guaranteed income? He said, once I realized his tactical strategy was nothing but buy and hold.
Yeah.
I said, what do you use for guaranteed income? He says, dividend stocks. That's what I use for guaranteed income. I said, you use dividend stocks? So nobody's ever cut a dividend before? He said, well, of course they have. I said, well, how's that a guaranteed income? I said, has anybody ever eliminated a dividend stock? I mean, a dividend from a stock? He says, well, of course they have. I said, I have a client that I just met with today. And not, a couple of weeks ago when I was talking to him, I said, I just had a client I just met with today that her broker of 33 years back in October of '08 bought BAC, Bank of America, at about $26.70 for the dividend. By March of '09, 5 months later, that stock was $3.67. And I said, is that a good move in your opinion? He said, absolutely not. He was an idiot. I said, but I thought you just stated to me a little bit ago that it's not important about the principal being protected, just as long as you get that income. I said, but if they cut that dividend off right now, and she still has that stock, if they cut that dividend off right now, Bank of America's around $7 a share. I said, $7, so if they get rid of their dividend, because they are having problems, just laid off 10,000, this person is stuck with that stock, and it's not producing a dividend for her anymore. I said, is that a guarantee that you really believe in? And I said, so that's why we believe in the market, but it better be your extra income in the market, and your essential income better be coming from a fixed account that you know you can count on. And I said, to me, that just makes a whole lot more sense than trusting in a dividend stock. And I said, I've heard that story 1,000 times, and it's just ironic I heard it again today prior to talking with you tonight. And I said, so we just agree to disagree agreeably. And he's a good guy. Wish him nothing but the best. But, folks, guaranteed income is not dividend stocks. And I don't care how long they've been paying a dividend. They can cut that dividend off in a drop of a hat. And if you don't think folks were reducing their dividends in '08, you're out of your mind.
B of A did. Most of the banks did. But, Brian, I'm going to tell you something. Having grown up on that side of the street, it's against their DNA to get people out of the market. It is. They just believe this thing is going to come back every single time, and they just will not do it.
Well, the big banks, not the independent brokers, and we'll go to that call in a second. The big banks, when you're a broker for them, you are serving two masters. It's just that simple.
That's right.
And the one that's second in line is the client.
Well, the fact of the matter is, if you're a stockbroker, you are serving two masters. You are a registered rep of that broker-dealer, and you have to serve that master number one, period.
That is correct.
And the client is second, and if you believe anything different, folks, you're kidding yourself. But let's go to the call.
Yeah, Joe in Wahlberg. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, last week we heard these Fibonacci turn points on the way up. Is there such a thing as Fibonacci points on the way down like we're seeing now?
Well, good question, Joe. Yeah, there are Fibonacci points up and down, and basically what you do with those is you look at the previous lows and highs, and you can do it for short-term cycles as well as long-term cycles, and get some estimates of where the market may end up going. And in the first segment, I gave what I thought was going to be a low of about 10.7 on the Dow, and that is actually a Fibonacci retracement point. If we look back up, if we do get a bounce off of that, the next Fibonacci retracement level back up is somewhere around 11.5 or something like that.
Okay.
I'm hoping we get a bounce in here. This thing is really starting to get ugly, and it's starting to scare me a little bit, quite honestly, because this is unexpected. This is August. August is not supposed to be like this. September's the worst month of the year. All right, gang, we have to go to our bottom of the hour break, and we will be back with more Wealth Guardians in just a moment. So hang in there.
Let's call him.